The first hints that humanity was not alone in the universe came not through a grand declaration or an epic battle in the stars, but rather through silent whispers, faint signals intercepted by the Argus array, barely distinguishable from the background noise of the cosmos. These whispers quickly turned into a cacophony of excitement and fear as the world's governments and scientific communities confirmed the origin. Proxima Centauri b, a mere 4.2 light-years away. At the United Nations headquarters, an emergency assembly had been convened. Leaders from around the world sat shoulder to shoulder, their expressions a mix of wonder and worry. Dr. Evelyn Mercer, the chief scientist at NASA, addressed the assembly, her voice steady despite the weight of her message. Ladies and gentlemen, the signals we have intercepted are clearly artificial, structured, and repetitive. We believe they are attempts at communication by an intelligent extraterrestrial civilization. The news set off a tsunami of reactions. The public's imagination ran wild with images of alien life, some fearful, envisioning invaders and conquerors, others hopeful, dreaming of benevolent visitors and new horizons in friendship. However, beneath the surface of excitement, the wheels of military strategists and defense planners were already turning. If these beings could send signals across the stars, what else were they capable of? It was a question that haunted the sleep of General Arthur King, who viewed the universe through a lens tinted by the grim hues of tactical advantage and security. We must prepare for all possibilities, General King argued in closed sessions. If they are capable of reaching out to us, they might also be capable of reaching us. Amidst these discussions, an ambitious plan was conceived. Humanity would not just listen, it would respond. The world's brightest minds collaborated on crafting a message, a blend of mathematics, visuals of Earth's biodiversity, and snippets of human culture, encapsulated in a digital bottle cast into the cosmic ocean. As the months passed, anticipation grew. Then, just as suddenly as they had begun, the signals stopped. The silence from Proxima Centauri b was deafening, and the collective gaze of humanity turned skyward with a single question: what have we done? The answer came 2 years later, not in the form of another signal, but through the arrival of a ship. It appeared in orbit around Earth without warning, its design unlike anything humanity had ever conceived. Sleek, dark, and utterly silent. It was the size of a small city, hanging in the void like an unspoken threat. Initial attempts at communication were met with silence. The world held its breath as every telescope and every satellite was trained on the alien visitor. Then, in a clear and unmistakable action, the ship released a smaller vessel towards Earth. It descended, not with the fiery aggression of a missile, but with the graceful inevitability of nightfall, landing in the Sahara Desert. The world reacted as one might expect. Chaos ensued. Emergency meetings were held, militaries were mobilized, and every resource was directed towards understanding who these aliens were and what they wanted. Dr. Mercer was part of the first contact team, her heart pounding as they approached the landed craft. The hatch opened slowly, revealing beings that were nothing like the little green men of popular culture. They were tall, with translucent skin that shimmered with a bioluminescent glow, and eyes that seemed to hold the depth of the universe. "We come in peace," their leader communicated, not through sounds, but directly into the minds of the human delegation. The meeting was brief. The aliens, who called themselves the Eldrin, explained that they had been watching humanity for centuries, curious about our rapid development and fearful of our propensity for violence. They had decided it was time to make contact, to guide and help humanity join the broader community of the cosmos. But as the aliens returned to their ship, in the weeks following the Eldrin's departure, the world buzzed with both hope and suspicion. Governments publicly embraced the potential for a new era of interstellar cooperation, while privately ramping up their defenses. General King spearheaded the formation of a covert group, codenamed Project Sentinel, tasked with preparing Earth for any unforeseen consequences of this alien contact. Deep in a secure facility, hidden away in the Rocky Mountains, scientists and military strategists gathered, their days and nights consumed by efforts to reverse engineer the technology glimpsed in the Eldrin ship. Dr. Mercer, too, found herself torn between her scientific curiosity and the darker undercurrents of her assignments. Meanwhile, across the globe, a team of linguists and psychologists worked tirelessly to decipher the mental communication used by the Eldrin. They achieved breakthroughs that not only allowed for rudimentary mental exchanges among humans, but also hinted at the potential to tap into previously unimagined cognitive abilities. As these developments unfolded, another signal was intercepted. This one was different, urgent, and seemingly distressed. Analysis revealed it was a plea for help. The Eldrin were under attack by another alien species, known as the Krill, who thrived on conquering other planets. General King saw an opportunity. He proposed a daring plan to the United Nations, assist the Eldrin and gain their trust and technology. Many nations were skeptical, fearful of entering an alien conflict, but the potential benefits tipped the scales. Earth would send aid to the Eldrin. The mission was dual-natured. While part of the team would engage diplomatically, another would covertly gather as much alien technology and intelligence as possible. A fleet of Earth's newly adapted ships, equipped with hybrid technology derived from the initial Eldrin encounter, set off towards Proxima Centauri. Upon arrival, they found the Eldrin's planet besieged by the Krill's forces. The Earth fleet dove into combat, their ships clumsy but effective thanks to the alien-enhanced weaponry. In the chaos of battle, a small team led by Dr. Mercer landed on the planet, meeting with Eldrin leaders in a war-ravaged bunker. The Eldrin were initially wary, but desperation led them to accept human help. They shared knowledge of their energy systems and defensive technologies, information that was immediately transmitted back to Earth. However, amidst this exchange, Dr. Mercer uncovered a harrowing truth. The Krill were originally a peaceful species, turned violent by previous human probes that had unknowingly carried aggressive microbial life to their worlds. Tormented by the revelation that Earth might have inadvertently sparked this interstellar war, Dr. Mercer faced a moral quandary. She relayed her findings to General King, whose reaction was chillingly dismissive. "Our priority is the safety and advancement of humanity. This changes nothing," he declared. As Earth's forces turned the tide against the Krill, the Eldrin grew increasingly dependent on human aid, unaware of the true cost of their newfound alliance. Back on Earth, public sentiment grew wary of the ongoing conflict, sparking protests and debates about the moral implications of their leaders' decisions. The stage was set for a deeper entanglement in interstellar politics and the dark realization that in the pursuit of survival and supremacy, humanity might become the very threat they had feared from the stars. Dr. Mercer, caught between her ethical convictions and her duty, prepared to make a decision that could alter the course of human-alien relations forever. As Earth's influence expanded on the Eldrin homeworld, tensions on the planet escalated. Dr. Mercer's discovery that Earth's earlier probes might have sparked the brutal Krill invasion remained tightly under wraps, classified by General King as a matter of planetary security. The balance of power was shifting, and not just in space. On Earth, governments grappled with the ethical ramifications and the mounting public outcry against the militarization of space. In the war rooms and laboratories, the fruits of Eldrin technology were adapting Earth's military capabilities at a breakneck pace. New weapon systems and faster-than-light travel concepts were in development, promising to secure humanity's place as a formidable power in the galaxy. But with power came new enemies and old fears rekindled. Amid this whirlwind of activity, a covert communication from an unknown faction within the Eldrin reached Dr. Mercer. The message was clear. There was a faction among the Eldrin that opposed the alliance with Earth. They viewed the humans not as saviors, but as opportunists, exploiting their weakened state for their own gain. They pleaded with her to help stop the plundering of their resources and technology. Torn by her duty to her planet and her conscience, Dr. Mercer arranged a secret meeting with these Eldrin dissidents. Under the cover of darkness in the ruins of an Eldrin cultural site, she met with Aliran, a member of the Eldrin High Council. Aliran was slender, his bioluminescent skin glowing softly in the moonlight, his eyes filled with a mixture of hope and despair. "Your people do not see. They do not see that in helping us, they doom us," Aliran whispered. his mental voice echoing in her mind with a haunting intensity. Our technologies were never meant for war. What you take and adapt will only lead to more suffering. Dr. Mercer's heart ached at the truth in his words. She promised to do what she could to shift the tide, to advocate for a true partnership based on respect and mutual benefit, rather than domination and fear. Back on Earth, as news of the human victory over the Krill spread, General King was hailed as a hero. Parades and medals were his reward, but he remained focused on the next threat, pushing for further expansion into space. Unbeknownst to him, Dr. Mercer began leaking information about the true origins of the Krill conflict and the exploitation of the Eldrin. The leaks sparked a global debate. Activist groups, previously fragmented and powerless, coalesced around this new cause, demanding an end to the militarization and calling for transparency in all dealings with alien civilizations. The public's eyes were slowly opening to the broader consequences of their leaders' actions. In a bold move, Dr. Mercer confronted General King directly, presenting him with evidence of the public's shifting sentiments and the potential for a peaceful resolution that could still ensure Earth's security without resorting to exploitation. King, however, was unmoved. "You fail to understand, Mercer. This is about survival. Humanity must not just participate in the galaxy, we must lead it, dominate it if necessary to ensure our future." Frustrated and disillusioned, Dr. Mercer realized that internal change was impossible. She resigned from her position, but not from her mission. Joining forces with the activist groups, she became a leader in the movement for interstellar peace and cooperation. As Earth's first interstellar war ended, a new conflict was brewing, one not of planets and weapons, but of ideologies and ethics. Dr. Mercer and her allies stood ready to fight this battle, one that would determine the soul of humanity itself. As the Eldrin watched and waited, the future hung in the balance, a future where humans could either be guardians of the galaxy or its greatest threat. Amidst a growing schism between Earth's governing bodies and its citizens, Dr. Mercer found herself at the helm of a movement that was gaining traction faster than she had anticipated. Her days were filled with speeches, clandestine meetings, and strategy sessions, all aimed at promoting a new vision for humanity's role in the cosmos, a vision that emphasized coexistence and cooperation over domination and exploitation. As the movement grew, so did the watchful eyes of General King's operatives. Surveillance was covertly increased on Dr. Mercer and her allies, and pressure was exerted on media outlets to discredit the peace movement as naive and dangerous. Yet, with each attempt to suppress their voices, public sympathy for the cause only deepened, sparking widespread protests in major cities around the globe. General King, feeling the foundations of his control beginning to shake, convened a secret meeting with his closest advisors and several influential leaders from the defense and technology sectors. "We cannot allow these idealists to derail our progress," he asserted. "Our priority must remain the security and superiority of Earth within the galactic community." Plans were laid to initiate Project Sovereign, a program designed to establish autonomous military bases on other planets within the habitable zones of nearby star systems. These bases would serve as strongholds to project Earth's power and influence, ensuring no external threats could ever catch humanity off guard again. Meanwhile, Dr. Mercer received unexpected support from the scientific community, many of whom had grown disillusioned with how their discoveries were being militarized. Leading researchers, engineers, and even some military personnel began to defect, bringing with them intelligence and technologies that would bolster the peace movement's cause. One evening, as Dr. Mercer reviewed the latest batch of leaked documents, a breakthrough came. The documents contained detailed plans for Project Sovereign, revealing the locations and the extent of Earth's planned expansion. Armed with this information, she decided to expose the project to the world, showing how far the leadership was willing to go in their quest for dominance. The leak caused an uproar. Governments were forced to defend their aggressive policies publicly, while diplomats from other star systems watched closely, reassessing their stances on Earth as a potential ally or threat. This shift in perception opened diplomatic channels that had been previously blocked, and Dr. Mercer found herself invited to speak at an interstellar conference, a platform she used to promote her vision of a federated galaxy, where disputes were settled through diplomacy rather than war. Back on Earth, General King was losing his grip. The revelations of Project Sovereign sparked internal investigations, and several of his key allies were ousted from their positions. Feeling the walls closing in, he planned one final gambit, a demonstration of Earth's military might that would silence his critics once and for all. The target was an uninhabited system that had been recently discovered to contain valuable resources. If he could secure it under Earth's control, it would serve both as a strategic asset and a display of his unyielding power. However, as his fleet prepared to launch, they were sabotaged from within. Dr. Mercer's allies in the military had acted, grounding the fleet and preventing the attack. This act of defiance marked a turning point. General King was arrested, charged with corruption and abuse of power, and the shadow of his regime began to lift. With Earth's aggressive expansion halted, Dr. Mercer's and her coalition worked tirelessly to rebuild trust with the galaxy's various civilizations, advocating for Earth's integration into a collective security system that valued peace over conquest. As new alliances formed and old enmities were laid to rest, Earth began to embrace its new role not as a dominator, but as an equal among a community of stars. Dr. Mercer, once an outcast within her own world, emerged as a leading voice in the interstellar dialogue. Her vision for a cooperative future became the cornerstone of Earth's foreign policy, influencing a generation of leaders and citizens alike. In the corridors of power, a reformed United Nations now included representatives from other planets, the Eldrin among them. Aliran, once a secretive dissident, now sat as an ambassador, working alongside humans to draft treaties and resolutions that would safeguard the rights and sovereignties of all sentient beings. Together, they formed the Intergalactic Council, a body committed to peace and the responsible sharing of technologies and resources. Dr. Mercer served as Earth's delegate, her voice calm but resolute. In council meetings, she often reminded her colleagues of the fragile nature of peace. "We must be vigilant," she would say. "Our past is riddled with mistakes, but each day presents a new opportunity to mend the fabric of our shared existence." However, peace did not mean the absence of challenges. Fringe groups, both human and alien, who felt marginalized by the new galactic order, began to stir unrest. Incidents of sabotage and terrorism surfaced, testing the resilience of the newly formed alliances. Each attack was met with a measured response, balancing justice with an unwavering commitment to civil liberties and due process. The Council established the Intergalactic Peacekeeping Force, IPF, staffed with volunteers from multiple worlds, including many former soldiers who had once prepared for interstellar war. Trained in non-lethal conflict resolution and equipped with state-of-the-art defensive technology, the IPAF became the embodiment of the Council's ideals. On Earth, as societies adjusted to the new normal, Dr. Mercer founded the Mercer Institute for Galactic Studies, an academy designed to educate future generations in the principles of diplomacy, xenobiology, and interstellar law. The institute quickly became a hub for young vision careers from across the galaxy, eager to contribute to the ongoing peace. Amidst these developments, Dr. Mercer faced personal challenges as well. The burden of her responsibilities weighed heavily on her, and she struggled with the public scrutiny that came with her position. Yet she found solace in her private life, which she fiercely protected, sharing it only with close friends and her partner, who had stood by her through the darkest times. In the deeper reaches of space, exploration missions continued under the banner of the Council. These missions were no longer driven by conquest but by curiosity and the desire to understand the universe. On one such mission, an Earth-led team discovered an ancient artifact, believed to be a legacy of a long-extinct civilization. The artifact, a complex structure orbiting a neutron star, held data that could potentially unlock the secrets of the universe's origins. The discovery posed new philosophical and scientific questions. Was this civilization guided by the same fears and aspirations that drove humanity? What had been their fate? The Council convened a special session to discuss the implications of the artifact, and it was decided that a multi-species research team would study it, ensuring that all findings were shared openly. Dr. Mercer watched the live feed of the artifact from her office at the Institute, a smile touching her lips as she saw young humans and aliens working side by side. It was a sight that filled her with hope and affirmed her lifelong belief that understanding and cooperation were not just ideals but practical necessities for survival and growth. As the years passed, the interstellar community grew stronger, fostered by the efforts and ethos that Dr. Mercer and her colleagues had worked tirelessly to instill. Across planets and star systems, populations embraced a sense of unity that transcended old prejudices and fears. Schools across the galaxy taught the history of Earth's transformation from a solitary, conflict-ridden world to a pivotal member of the Galactic Council, highlighting the pivotal roles played by those like Dr. Mercer. In a poignant moment of reflection, Dr. Mercer attended the anniversary celebration of the Intergalactic Council. The event was held on a space station orbiting Earth, symbolizing the central role the planet now played in galactic affairs. Ambassadors and dignitaries from countless worlds gathered, exchanging stories of progress and plans for the future. During the ceremony, a message arrived from a distant part of the galaxy, a sector that had yet to fully engage with the Council. They were reaching out now, intrigued by the peace and prosperity they observed. They sought guidance on joining the Council, eager to contribute and learn. This development was a testament to the ripple effects of the peace movement's success, reaching far beyond those who had first imagined it. Later, as Dr. Meredith walked through the halls of the station, looking out at the stars, she felt a profound connection to the cosmos. She had witnessed humanity rise from the brink of destructive conquest to become a beacon of hope and cooperation. It was a transformation that she had once only dreamed of. Yet, her thoughts were not without concern. The universe was vast, and its mysteries were endless. Each new discovery and each new contact could pose unforeseen challenges. But she was reassured by the robust systems and relationships that had been built. The Council was strong, adaptive, and above all, committed to the principles of unity and mutual respect. As the celebrations concluded, Dr. Mercer returned to Earth, where she spent her remaining years writing and lecturing. Her memoirs, filled with insights and reflections on her journey, became required reading in academic institutions across the galaxy. Her legacy was not just in the policies she helped craft or the wars she helped prevent, but in the countless lives she inspired. Upon her retirement, the Mercer Institute unveiled a statue in her honor. The inscription read, "For our guide to the stars, who taught us to see the light in others." It stood not only as a tribute to her, but as a beacon for future generations. The peace she had fought for endured, growing deeper with each passing year. Conflicts became rarer, resolutions quicker, and collaborations more creative. The galaxy, once a place of dark uncertainties and fears, had become a vibrant community of shared knowledge and boundless potential. As the sun set on a peaceful Earth, children played under the open sky, their laughter a melody that transcended worlds. Dr. Mercer watched from her porch, her old eyes bright with tears and her heart full. The stars above, once harbingers of fear, now twinkled with the promise of endless possibilities. Humanity had not only found its place in the galaxy, but had helped shape a cosmos where every being could aspire to the stars.